On the third day after being diagnosed with stomach cancer, I picked a burial plot for myself. They said the feng shui was excellent. Supposedly, it would bless me with a next life, where I wouldn't be the despised real daughter anymore. No more parents, brothers, or everything else being taken from me. No more being unloved. I burned my photos and clothes, erased every trace that I had ever existed. Then I slit my wrists, lay down in the tub, and quietly waited for death. But then the cemetery called. "Miss Jennifer, we're terribly sorry. There's been a mix-up between two agents. This grave has been sold to another gentleman as well. Would you be willing to relocate?" Hell no, I wouldn't. I've heard of moving cars, even moving houses, but who the hell asks someone to move their grave? Fury surged through me as I bolted upright in the tub, blood-dyed water splashing everywhere. A flood of curses rushed to my lips, but I instinctively swallowed them back. I watched them input my contract into the system myself. It's linked to my name. Yes, of course. The cemetery staff sounded very apologetic. But Mr. Luke also signed a contract, so he's not in the system, is he? I cut her off coolly. Sorry, I'm not moving. I'd already lost once in a two-daughter household. My parents and brother were taken from me. Now this grave was clearly under my name. What? I'm supposed to lose again? The other end of the line went quiet for a beat. Then a deep, magnetic male voice came on. "Miss Jennifer, you can name your price. Anything you want. Consider it my compensation." My vision blurred from the blood loss, and I rubbed my temples to steady myself. It's not about the money. I need it now. But clearly, the cemetery favored this very wealthy-sounding gentleman. The voice on the phone tried to persuade me gently. "Miss Jennifer, we actually have several other plots with even better amenities. Mr. Luke, well, he does have more urgent need. I mean, surely a few hours' delay won't." "Is Mr. Luke using the grave for himself?" I cut in suddenly, catching them off guard. But I didn't wait for an answer. I stared at my wrists, soaking in the blood-red water, and quietly dropped my trump card. "I'm currently bleeding out. Planning to die today. I really do need it urgently. Please don't fight me for it. Or, if you really like it, how about we both lie in it and see who wins?" Silence fell on the other end. I didn't speak either, mentally calculating things. Seemed like cremation this afternoon and burial the same day would be safest. That grave with perfect feng shui, I had to have it. Which meant I had to make absolutely sure someone would collect my body immediately. No delays. Clenching my teeth, I grabbed my phone from the edge of the tub and messaged the pinned family group chat on WeChat. "Jennifer, guys, I'm going to kill myself. Jennifer, can someone please come back home and take care of my body? Jennifer," at everyone. I didn't mention the cancer, just sent the messages. Within seconds, a notification popped up. "Dad has left the group." I gave a bitter laugh and looked down, thinking, fine. Once the arrangements are done, I'll just dissolve the group. They had another family group anyway, one that didn't include me. On the phone, Luke cleared his throat and spoke again, his voice layered with shock, hesitation, and unease. "Miss Jennifer, you're joking, right?" Blood slid from my wrist down to my elbow, dripping into the bath with a crisp plop. That was my answer. The line went dead silent again. Then, suddenly, the wind on his end roared louder, but I didn't have the strength to pay attention. The dizziness had gotten worse. The chat remained quiet. No one replied. I pressed my lips together, then simply snapped a picture of my bloody, mangled wrist and sent it. "Jennifer, sorry. I really can't help it. Jennifer, the cemetery's fighting me for the plot. I'm in a hurry. Jennifer, just pay attention to me this once. The last time, okay?" Buzz. A soft vibration came through the phone a few seconds later. Surprisingly, someone replied, "Big brother, 1. Oh, a 1. Fuck your 1. Jennifer, thank you so much. I let out a breath, ready to uninstall WeChat, when suddenly the phone buzzed again. Jessica, sis, I'm sorry, I'll ask Mom, Dad, and the brothers to head back right now. Jessica, big brother's busy with work. No need to bother him. Third brother, like hell we're going back. Third brother, this whole drama is just 'cause today's your birthday, and we went on a trip with Jessica instead, right? Third brother, we told you we'd be back tonight. What more do you want, Jennifer? Third brother, you'll only be satisfied when everyone's miserable. What? You'll die if you stop acting for a single day. A sharp pain stabbed through my chest. I bit my lip and forced a laugh. Jennifer, sure, I am dying now, see? Jessica, the adopted daughter they brought home from an orphanage 3 years after they lost me by accident. She was supposed to be a stand-in for me. But from the moment I returned to the Delaney family, I'd envied her for being the sunshine that pulled them out of the shadows. Unlike me, who carried all the trauma of abduction and abuse. Poor manners, rustic shyness, crude awkwardness, they always felt guilty around me. But that guilt came with a kind of distant restraint, like I was just a guest in the house, never truly family. Unlike Jessica, who could joke, tease, and laugh with them like she belonged. All these years, I'd worked so hard to get close, to belong, to erase the distance caused by those 7 missing years. I just wanted them to love me. But no matter how hard I tried, they always preferred Jessica. Eventually, they started to think I was jealous, bullying her, competing for attention. They grew more and more disgusted with me until that day, everything shattered. We had it tested. There's nothing in your medicine bottles but vitamins. So what exactly is this stomach pain you keep whining about? Using our guilt to con the whole family into pampering you. Does that make you feel good? Fighting Jessica for affection. What a joke! Yeah, not funny at all. Which is why now I have stomach cancer. I'm dying. I'll never bother their precious Jessica again. They can have their perfect little family. Mom, Jennifer, how did you end up like this? Mom, if you want to blame someone, blame me, honey. Please stop. Mom, I'll be home right away. Third brother. Mom, don't bother. All she does is lie. Suicide, huh? Fine. Go die in the ocean or something. Third brother. At least then the house won't be tainted, and we won't have to clean up the body. Third brother. From now on, we'll pretend she never existed. After a pause of over 10 seconds, he seemed to hesitate, but still sent the message. Third brother. Sometimes I honestly wish you'd never come back at all. A searing pain shot through my wrist, sharper than when I'd first cut it. My eyes welled up in an instant, and tears spilled uncontrollably down my cheeks. Jennifer! Maybe because I hadn't responded for too long, Luke suddenly shouted my name over the phone, his voice low and forceful, wind howling in the background. Talk to me! The sensation in my body jolted back, and I blinked down, quickly pressing my hand to the inner side of my wrist. I slowly stood up from the tub and gave a faint smile with my eyes closed. The grave's yours. I won't be needing it. Jennifer. Sure. Whatever you say. Since the grave plot was registered under my name, both parties had to meet in person to sign the transfer. I picked the hospital as the meeting place after all. I'd been bleeding for a while now. If I didn't get bandaged up, I might not even make it to the sea to drown. Still needed someone to clean up the body if I dropped dead on the way. What surprised me was that Luke, who was supposed to be rushing in from a cemetery out in the suburbs, only arrived 10 minutes after I did, and I was already in the city. The agent must have noticed my confusion. He wiped the sweat off his forehead and explained, As soon as Mr. Luke heard you were trying to kill yourself, he looked up your home address in the file and drove straight into the city. He was speeding the whole way. I turned in surprise to the man beside him, who wore a plain white tee under a shirt jacket and casual slacks. Tall, upright posture, sharp features, he was unexpectedly handsome. You just got here too? Luke, slightly out of breath, looked at me. Come on, let's find the nurse. Number 7, Jennifer. Please proceed to the consultation room. Number 7. The mechanical voice of the announcement system cut him off. Luke stared at me, stunned. You're actually waiting in line for a regular appointment in this state? I blinked blankly and nodded. Yeah, I am. I wasn't in that much of a rush, so no point taking up emergency care resources. Jennifer! A familiar, chilly voice rang out behind me, tinged with surprise. I turned at the sound and was shocked to see Juan, second son of the Delaney family, my second brother, a top young physician at the city hospital. What was he doing here at the People's Hospital? And Juan clearly hadn't expected the Jennifer being called was actually me. His brows drew together as he walked over, phone still lit in his hand, displaying what looked like a group chat. Don't tell me. You knew I'd be at the People's Hospital for a seminar today, so you staged this whole scene for me. His tone was cold, detached, laced with reproach. His gaze swept over my roughly bandaged wrist, eyes filled with disappointment and impatience. There's a limit to this nonsense. The Delaney family had 3 sons, the eldest in business, the second in medicine, the youngest in racing. Compared to third brother's sharp tongue, the older 2 were more aloof, always busy with work, generally indifferent toward me. So I didn't react much to his words. Instead, Luke frowned and stepped forward, grabbed me, and led me into the consultation room, pushing me into the chair. Doctor, this is urgent. She needs immediate attention. He shot a meaningful look toward Juan standing outside the door. Juan's face twitched, his brows tightening. He stood there for over 10 seconds, then let out a cold scoff. Jessica's the only one who'd fall for this stunt. She's so worried, she's already pushing Mom and Dad to come back. Just like you wanted, now the whole family's upset. Happy? After that, his gaze once again landed on my wrist. His eyes darkened, but he said nothing else. It was like he was certain I'd follow him obediently, and he turned to leave. Just then, the doctor who had scanned my card suddenly exclaimed, "You've got stomach cancer? You need gastroenterology for that. General surgery won't help you." The room went dead silent. Luke's hand, still holding my wrist, froze. Juan stopped in his tracks. But unlike Luke, Juan's face showed not shock, but clear impatience and disdain. First a suicide attempt, now stomach cancer? Jennifer, quit while you're ahead. Keep this up, and even if you don't die, there'll be no turning back. My lips trembled slightly, and I gave a bitter, mocking smile. All right, then I'll go die. Juan let out a cold laugh, pinched the bridge of his nose in frustration, his tone dripping with disdain. I've been in meetings for hours. I'm exhausted. I don't have the energy to watch your little performance. Juan's job was hectic and unpredictable. Over the years, I'd gotten used to quietly caring for him, trying not to be a burden. In the past, I wouldn't even need him to say he was tired. I'd automatically offer concern and try to please him. But this time, I held back. I sat still and simply looked up at him, expression calm. Then go home and rest early. Juan froze for a second, his eyes flashing with a mix of panic and confusion I couldn't quite decipher, but he quickly masked it with indifference. Whatever. If you've got the guts, don't ever come back. My heart felt like a pool of stagnant water, still and unmoving. I nodded with a faint smile. Sure, whatever you say. My ass. Suddenly, Luke cut in with a dark expression. He gently but decisively placed my wrist on the desk for the doctor, then stood tall, blocking me with his body. He turned toward Juan, eyes dark, face hostile. He uttered just one word. Leave. The consultation room door slammed shut behind him. Luke pulled over a chair, sat beside me, and said nothing else. He simply watched as the doctor began removing the gauze. I turned to him, breaking the silence myself. Give me the transfer contract. I'll sign it now. No need to waste his time any further. He wouldn't have to wait around. But Luke didn't respond. His gaze swept over my mangled, bloody wound, lips tightening before he looked me in the eye. Didn't you say you needed it urgently? Why give it up? If you're not going home, then where are you going? This guy, he already got the grave. What else did he want? Was this an interrogation now? I'd planned to brush it off with a simple, I don't need it anymore. But Luke's eyes were just too sharp, too serious. For a moment, I had a strong feeling that if I lied, the conversation would never end. I exhaled and gave in with a sigh. Too much trouble finding someone to collect my body. So I figured I'd go feed the fish in the Dead Sea instead. Don't need the grave then, ow. The doctor, seemingly spooked by my morbid joke, pulled the gauze too tight. The sudden pain drilled straight into my nerves. The doctor gave me an apologetic smile, raised the scissors, and snipped the gauze. He paused for a moment, then asked softly, "You're really not going to try treatment anymore? If stomach cancer's well controlled, 5 years shouldn't be a problem." I was momentarily stunned, then smiled and shook my head. Nah, I've lived long enough. 3 or 5 more years won't make a difference. I pulled back my freshly bandaged wrist and stood up, about to ask Luke for the contract again, when my eyes happened to land on the agent standing behind him. I blinked, suddenly realizing neither of them brought anything with them. Did they? "So, the transfer contract, where is it?" Luke's expression froze. His lips pressed into a thin line, and his eyes darkened slightly. After a few seconds of thought, he slowly said, "Jennifer, let's share the grave. Maybe it was blood loss, or maybe it was just how outrageous his words were." But my vision went black for a second. It took me several seconds to steady myself before I could finally speak. "What?" "You said it yourself." Luke smiled. "If you really like it, let's share it. I think it's a great idea. Perfect for someone like me, all alone. Come holidays and anniversaries, when your family comes to pay respects, bring flowers and kneel, I can tag along for the ride. Great deal, right?" He paused, meeting my shocked and dazed gaze, and smiled gently. "In return, I'll take care of your body. Sound good?" My hand reflexively pressed to my chest, and I instinctively shrank back a little. Why? Why did that almost sound tempting? But as you can see, my situation isn't exactly hopeful. My family might not even bother visiting my grave. "That's fine," Luke said easily. "Having a neighbor is better than being alone." As he spoke, he stood and looked at me, expression casual and relaxed, completely different from the cold, intimidating man who told Juan to get lost just earlier. "If you're not interested, Miss Jennifer, I can always find someone else. Deal." I picked an absolutely stunning beach. The sunset stained the sky with a golden hue. The waves crashed gently, perfect for a vibrant end to life. But honestly, I was starting to regret agreeing to share a grave with Luke. This guy was so damn extra. "Let's watch the sunset, yeah? What's a few more minutes? The sea's too cold at night. Might as well stay for the sunrise tomorrow before you go." Sure. You're the one handling my body. Your call." The night before sunrise was long. Blood loss made me drowsy. I figured I'd be woken by the 5:30 a.m. alarm I'd set, but instead, it was a video call from third brother. Time, 10:30, 2 p.m. Luke was fast asleep in the car seat, and I quietly opened the door and stepped out. As the video connected, the screen filled with the image of a family dinner table. Jessica sat in the center, surrounded like a queen. Oh, Big Brother wasn't there. "Jennifer, are you insane?" Third brother Jason scowled, clearly pissed. "You scared the whole family into coming back and now you're missing. Jessica spent her entire afternoon cooking that feast for you. Get your ass home." Sitting next to Jessica, Mom let out a long sigh. Her voice was still gentle, but it couldn't hide her exhaustion and disappointment. "Jennifer, Stop it, okay? Come back and celebrate your birthday. Dad gave a cold snort. Making your elders wait to eat, did you throw your education to the dogs? I glanced at the lavish meal on the table, clearly already eaten, then let out a soft, bitter laugh. Suddenly, a different thought occurred to me. Luke taking care of my body and me dying didn't have to happen at the same time. Why was I waiting for him at all? I lowered my eyes with a speechless smile, pressed my lips together, then decisively stepped forward. Waves surged around me, and my heart fell into silence. I'm dying right now. Not coming back. The door unlocked. Big Brother appeared in a suit, scanning the table as he stepped in and changed shoes. Then, without a word, he headed straight for the only bedroom on the first floor, my room. Busy with meetings this afternoon. Forgot about Jennifer. How's she doing? Still acting up? He spoke casually as he twisted open my bedroom door, only to find it completely empty. All my things were gone. The bathroom door was wide open, and the tub inside was stained bright red. Everyone's faces changed instantly. As a doctor, Juan reacted fastest. He shot up from his seat and rushed into the room. The moment he saw the blood in the tub, he gasped, eyes filling with panic and disbelief. No, this blood loss, this isn't right. She really meant to die. As if needing to confirm something, Juan quickly pulled out his phone, fingers swiping rapidly before zooming in. The video was too far away for me to see what he was looking at, but somehow, I had a good guess he must have been looking at the photo I sent of my wrist. I knew it. If Juan, a doctor, had actually looked at how deep that cut was, how could he still think I was faking? So he never even looked. My heart turned to ice. I tilted my head back and reached to end the call. But Juan suddenly snatched the phone from Third Brother's hands, face pale. Jennifer, stop messing around. Come back, just come home. Or at least tell me where you are, I'll come get you. The seawater was icy, up to my waist now. Luke was right, the sea at night really was cold. I stopped walking, eyes returning to the screen, meeting Juan's gaze calmly. Go back? And then what? Watch you all fawn over Jessica while I keep being the outsider? It's not like we wronged you. Third Brother's awkward voice came through the speaker loud and clear. Unlike Juan, who now realized I might actually have stomach cancer, his tone still assumed I was acting, but somehow, it wasn't as nasty as before. Nobody in this family ever mistreated you. Before you started playing mind games, we all treated you like a freaking goddess. Why'd you have to go fight Jessica over everything? Yeah, they never mistreated me. They just never loved me. Jessica got fussed over for a cold. I slashed my wrists and all I got was, if you've got cancer, go die somewhere else. Don't make us clean up your body. These were my biological parents, my real brothers. Why shouldn't I fight? Why the hell shouldn't I fight? Jennifer, Juan's Adam's apple bobbed. Come home first and we'll talk there. If you're really sick, I'll save you. I kept walking. The sea kept rising. The bandage on my wrist soaked through, stinging like hell. I curled my lips into a small smile and cut him off. Juan, I haven't had brothers. Haven't had a family in a long time. Juan froze, as if he suddenly remembered I hadn't called them brother in ages. Not since that day my stomach meds mysteriously turned into vitamins. They'd said it themselves. Jennifer, I really wish Jessica were our real sister. Juan's expression crumpled with panic and regret. He shook his head, voice trembling. No, that was just something I said out of disappointment. That's not what I really meant. We just didn't want you, because of jealousy, to hurt Jessica again. A large hand suddenly reached over and snatched the phone away. I turned in surprise and saw Luke standing behind me, though I hadn't noticed when he got there. The moonlight reflected in his dark, unreadable gaze. There are only two reasons why people get jealous. One, they think the other person doesn't deserve it. Two, they don't have it themselves. You all love to say she's jealous, but none of you ever thought to just make sure she had enough." He let out a cold snort, his thin lips curling. "Favoritism is favoritism. What's with all the excuses? Trash." Plop! The phone was tossed into the sea, making a small splash. My eyes widened slightly. Wait, wasn't that my phone? Did he just chuck it like that? All cool and casual. Jennifer. Luke stood in the sea, holding my wrist, silently meeting my gaze. He didn't say anything more, just sighed softly, then bent down and scooped me up into his arms, carrying me out of the water. "I've got a home. Come see it. If you like it, maybe we can share that too." But that night, I didn't really get to see Luke's house. Between the blood loss and getting chilled, I ended up running a low fever in the car. Once we got there, I just curled up under the warm, soft blankets, watching Luke sit by the bed, focused on changing my bandages. I think I forgot to ask. I sniffled, my voice a little nasal. "Why did you buy a grave, anyway?" He didn't seem like someone with a terminal illness. Luke raised his brows and glanced at me, his expression calm. "Just planning ahead." "That's it?" I didn't quite get it. The cemetery agent clearly said earlier that Luke needed that plot more than I did. If it was just for planning ahead, he wouldn't have been so insistent, right? "Did you pick it because of the feng shui too?" "That plot was chosen based on my birth chart by a feng shui master. It shouldn't apply to everyone." "No." Luke finished tying the bandage gently. His voice was very soft. "Right next to that plot are my parents." My expression froze. I was completely caught off guard. I opened my mouth several times, but couldn't find anything to say. Luke chuckled at my reaction, his tone light and casual, revealing no hint of sorrow. 7 years ago, during that huge mall arson that rocked the whole city, both of them were inside. They were out picking a gift for me for becoming a firefighter. A little while back, I almost died in a fire during a mission. At the time, I thought, if I made it out, I'd buy a plot next to theirs. Just in case something happened unexpectedly and I didn't have time to plan. And then, I met you. After speaking, Luke stood up and opened a nearby cabinet, pulling out a few stuffed animals and lining them up beside my bed one by one. "All guards in place. Sleep soundly now." The last bunny plushie was placed beside my pillow. Luke patted its head. "I hereby name you Royal Guard Bunny." I couldn't help laughing out loud. His long, slender hand, pale and well-defined, landed gently on my head, tousling my hair. Luke looked into my eyes, gaze steady and tender. "While Jennifer fished from the sea. Hang in there a bit longer, will you?" A rush of emotion surged in my chest. My eyes turned red. I quickly looked away, staring at the goofy bunny beside me, and forced a light laugh. "See you tomorrow, my royal guard." Thanks to the fever, I stayed comfy and lazy in that room for 3 full days. But Luke eventually caught on that I was using it as an excuse to avoid things. So he simply dragged me out, planning to take me to the hospital. "Big bro, please." I clung desperately to the doorframe and swore to the heavens, "I promise I'll take my meds on time and fight to live. Let's skip the hospital, okay?" Late-stage stomach cancer, first step of treatment was chemo. Yeah, not super interested. "Jennifer Delaney." Luke's face darkened as he slowly called my full name, his arm around my waist tightening. I gave up and folded my hands together in a pleading gesture, blinking pitifully. "Please, I really don't want to go to the hosp." My words caught mid-sentence. My expression shifted instantly as my gaze slipped over Luke's shoulder and landed on 4 people standing near the door. I had no idea when they arrived or how long they'd been standing there. "Jennifer." Mom stepped forward, her face haggard, and the moment she said my name, tears streamed down her cheeks. "We finally found you. The whole family's been going crazy looking for you. Your big and second brothers are still guarding the beach. You're okay. And that's all that matters." I kept my lips tightly shut and said nothing. I only lifted my gaze coldly to look behind her at Jessica, eyes red and filled with guilt. A bit sheepish, too. At Dad, who suddenly looked 10 years older in just a few days, and at third brother Jason, whose expression was complicated, and who, for once, hadn't said a single harsh word to me. Every one of them looked gentle now, like none of them had ever said those cruel things to me just 3 days ago. Oh, I see. They've confirmed the cancer's real now, haven't they? Facing life and death, they've started to feel remorse. When I was alive and trying, I was met with coldness, indifference, and disdain. But now that I'm dying, suddenly I'm precious, huh? Amazing how fast people can flip. I was about to throw them a cold, mocking laugh, but a wave of nausea hit me out of nowhere. That metallic bitterness surged up, uncontrollable. I grabbed onto Luke, bent over, and started vomiting in heaves. At first it was just bile, but then bright red blood mixed in. "Jennifer!" Mom cried out, covering her mouth in shock. Tears flooded her eyes as she tried to step forward to help. I waved her off. "Don't! I'll puke even more." Her face froze, stricken with pain. Luke held me up tightly, letting me lean on him for support. His hand gently patted my back, his voice low. "We're going to the hospital." I immediately pulled a long face. "Brew!" "No." Luke raised his brows, firm and unmoving, though his tone softened a bit. "If you go, I'll buy you something sweet afterward. Let's move." I straightened up at once. With how much the cancer's probably spread these days, the bile reflux made everything taste bitter. I really needed something sweet. "She's my sister. I'll take her." Jason suddenly stepped forward, his expression full of regret. But his tone was firm as he reached out, trying to take me from Luke's side. "You don't have to trouble yourself." I pulled my arm back, frowning as I dodged Jason's hand. This whole act of his struck me as completely absurd. "Then you're definitely the last person I'd trouble, Mr. Jason." Jason flinched hard. His lips trembled as he opened his mouth, voice coming out strangely soft. "JJ Jennifer, everything I said that day, I was just angry. I didn't mean it. I'm sorry. I really am. No matter what, don't take it out on your health, okay? Let third brother take you to the hospital. After the checkup, we'll go home and get you well again." I couldn't help but let out a laugh, finally wearing the same distant indifference they had once shown me. "And what exactly does Mr. Jason mean by go home?" "All my things at the Delaney house have been destroyed, and I've followed your advice. Went to the sea to die, so you wouldn't have to clean up my corpse. Didn't die, though someone fished me out. But you can go ahead and pretend I did. The one standing here now is a wild Jennifer." As I spoke, I glanced sideways at Luke. He seemed expressionless, but the subtle upward curl of his lips was harder to suppress than a loaded AK. "Mr. Jason, now you can finally have what you wanted. Pretend I never existed in that house." Jason swayed slightly, lips drained of all color. The man who always raced without regrets, bold and wild on the track, now looked utterly consumed by remorse. His face went dull and grey. He couldn't say another word. Eyes red, he just kept repeating painfully, "I'm sorry. I'm sorry." Dad Jack stepped forward, forcing a sheepish smile as he awkwardly held out a brand new phone to me, pretending to sound casual but clearly trying to please. "It's okay. It's okay. Jennifer has every right to be angry with us. It's fine if you don't want to come home. I got you a new phone. We've reinstalled WeChat too. Can you add me back? At least let Dad be able to reach you, all right?" As if trying to prove something, he fumbled out his own phone, pulled up the screen and showed it to me, speaking cautiously. "It was wrong of me to leave the group chat that day. Your mum already added me back. See, I'm in it again." I glanced down and saw my pink starfish avatar still pinned at the top. Pressing my lips together, I stepped back, putting distance between us, standing shoulder to shoulder with Luke. "No need. One family group chat is enough for one family. Just disband that group already. Like you all always hoped. Pretend Jennifer, The lost girl never came back. Don't come looking for me again. It's really exhausting. They didn't want me. Now, I didn't want them either. Your WeChat avatar is a couple's profile? Is the other half SpongeBob? The scenery outside the car window slid by in reverse. While driving, Luke suddenly asked the question casually, as if offhand. I nodded. Yeah, sort of. With who? His Adam's apple bobbed. Boyfriend? With my QQ. I answered naturally. But Luke clicked his tongue, lips tightening in exasperation. I shot back. What? Just 'cause WeChat's newer, QQ doesn't matter anymore? Same parent company, you know. Even if QQ's not as popular now, it still deserves love. The bitterness in my mouth grew. I turned toward the seat, leaned back, and held out my hand to Luke with a pout. Luke, can I cash in early? Let me eat the candy before the hospital. Not calling me brother anymore. Luke shot me a sidelong glance. Is it possible that brother was just a figure of speech? Different kind of bro. Come on, candy, please. I gave him a goofy grin. Luke laughed too. Nope. My smile froze. I ground my teeth silently. The car came to a stop at a red light. Luke reached over and knocked me lightly on the forehead. Don't think I don't know what you're planning. Eat the candy now so you won't be on an empty stomach, which means no hospital, right? You promised me. No backing out. Caught red-handed, I tilted my head and pouted. I said good night to my Royal Guard bunny, not to you. Luke snorted. Fine. I'll strip that damn rabbit of its rank and exile it to the trash tonight. As the light turned green, Luke stopped talking and restarted the car. The scenery outside kept rolling backward. My smile faded, and I looked down. Sorry, Luke. No one will be bringing me flowers at my grave now. Sharing a grave truthfully, Luke got the short end of the deal. But he didn't seem to mind. His brows lifted gently, his smile soft and calm. Then fight a little harder. Live boldly and brightly. Shine while you're alive, and after death, don't need anyone to bring you flowers. We'll grow our own right. On the grave. My situation wasn't exactly optimistic. After the checkup, the doctor didn't say anything definitive. We'll start with chemo and some localized treatment. If it works and things stabilize, we can consider surgery. Chemo. I sat dejectedly on a bench in front of the carousel, sulking like a sad little mushroom. Even though Luke had brought me to the amusement park as a reward for bravely enduring injections and taking my meds, I still couldn't bring myself to be happy. He'd gone off to buy grilled sausages and tied a helium balloon to my arm before he left, telling me to wait there. I was seriously considering making a run for it. Jennifer! A suppressed, pleading voice suddenly called from behind me. I froze, then turned to see Big Brother Tony standing not far away, eyes red as he looked at me. Come home with Big Brother, all right? You're sick, can't stay out here like this. At least you've got second brother. You know his medical skills, he can definitely take good care of. I couldn't help but laugh and cut him off, my eyes shifting to Juan beside him. Wasn't it under Dr. Juan's watch that I ended up this sick? Stomach cancer at a late stage, how could there have been no symptoms? Yet Juan, who could instantly spot Jessica's facial expression when she had cramps, had never once believed I was truly in pain. I just... Juan looked guilty, face pale, mouth opening slightly. But before he could finish, Luke returned with the grilled sausage and cut him off. Bro! My eyes lit up at the sausage. Luke coldly scanned the Delaney family members who had come, then snorted and handed me the food. Eat, slowly, it's hot. Ugh! The nausea hit right as he finished his sentence. I dropped to my knees and started dry heaving painfully. Luke tried to step forward, but Juan beat him to it, dropping to the ground and reaching out to help me. Jennifer, get lost! Don't touch me! Maybe I was just finally fed up with being chased around by them. My emotions snapped. From deep in my chest, an unnameable fire surged up. reddening my eyes too. Where the hell were you all earlier? I'd spent years hiding my pain and humbling myself just to be loved. All those curses I'd kept inside, looping around my brain for years, finally spilled out, shocking everyone present. I clenched my fists, forcing myself not to cry. Did I just come back to the Delaney family a year or two ago? It's been 15 years. I waited for you to accept me, to love me again, for 15 years. Yeah, I'm not as dazzling as Jessica, not as easy to like. But did I not want to live confidently and boldly? Did I want to grovel and play nice just to be liked? No one ever taught me how. 7 years of absence had made us strangers, distant and unfamiliar. It would have taken a lot of love and care to bridge that gap, but they already had Jessica, the perfect fit in their eyes. So they didn't want to start over, didn't want to raise me again from scratch. Instead, they coasted along, covered things up, and let me live like a well-dressed outsider in that house, surrounded by luxury but never truly part of it. My tears finally escaped, slipping down my cheeks and falling to the floor. I unclenched my fists, and the deadness returned to my eyes. Get lost. Don't come to me with your pathetic guilt and fake remorse. I don't want to see any of you. Not even a little. To hell with I'm sorry. What I've always wanted is for someone to actually mean it. I'm sorry. Suddenly, an out-of-place voice cut through the silence. Jessica, eyes red, stepped forward and slowly knelt in front of me. The moment she opened her mouth, she broke into sobs. Sis, I'm sorry. I just didn't want you to take my family. Didn't want to be pushed out. I never wanted you to die. After all, she was the one the Delaney family had raised with love. Put aside the green tea tricks that deepened their prejudice against me. Strictly speaking, she only did one thing to me directly. When the family began to worry about my constant stomach pain and planned to take me to the hospital, she swapped out my stomach medicine for vitamins. Just that once, and it sealed my image as a liar and manipulator using guilt to steal affection. Was it her fault? Of course. But I won't pretend it was all her doing. I know that, and so do the Delaney family. Jessica, you should kneel, but you're not the only one who should. Not that it matters. Kneeling changes nothing. Your remorse just disgusts me. Regret that lasts a lifetime. Don't make me laugh. No one lives their life buried in guilt. Sooner or later, they all find ways to excuse themselves, to let it go. Like when I first went missing, they were racked with guilt. But just a few years later, they adopted Jessica to make themselves feel better. So what's their guilt worth, really? They always loved me the most, only when I was gone. It's pathetic. Without sparing them another glance, I grabbed Luke's sleeve and turned to leave. I had just taken 2 steps when Big Brother Tony's voice called out behind me, choked with restrained sobs. Jennifer, just call me Big Brother one more time. Come home. Please. I stopped walking, turned back, and saw Tony kneeling on the ground too. I tilted my head and gave him a cold, mocking smile. 1. After that day, the Delaney family stopped pretending to be remorseful. Instead, they began showing up, one by one, kneeling at Luke's door, begging me to come home. I pretended not to see them. I went on happily with my chemotherapy and dragged Luke with me to do all the things I'd never had the chance to do before. Luke called it our graveyard garden project. But the project didn't last long. Just over 2 months later, my hair had completely fallen out, and we had to stop everything. I could feel it after every round of chemo. I was left with a little less energy, a little less life. Luke, you don't seem all that sad. It was my 3rd hospital stay for chemo. I lay in bed, swaying my shiny bald head to reflect light onto his face, playing around. None of these treatments have gone well. Luke kept peeling an apple, smiling softly. Because we share a home and a grave now. I'll be by your side in life and in death. So no matter what happens, I'm already with you. I lowered my eyes, tugging on my bunny plush's ear, lips pouting. You better mean that. I saw a face flash past the glass on the doorframe. I looked up, and someone quickly ducked away. I didn't see clearly, but I knew who it was. The muffled sobbing was too familiar and way too loud. Tell them to get lost. Cry if they want, but not where I can hear it. Annoying. Luke nodded but didn't get up right away. He glanced toward the door and raised his voice a little. Jessica's moving out of the Delaney house. Your third brother apparently has serious self-harm tendencies. Last I saw him, his wrists were covered in cuts. Not enough to kill him, but it looked painful. Second brother hasn't shown up. Rumor is he's obsessed with researching stomach cancer treatments. Your parents? I don't want to know, Luke. I spoke quietly. I don't know what it would take to call it even. But I do know I couldn't care less about what happens to them. If they suffer, I won't be happy. It won't erase my pain. If they try to make up for it, I don't need it. Because I don't believe this family will ever truly feel guilty. Not unless they die. Before my 6th round of chemo, the season's first snow fell. I curled up in a wool blanket on a rocking chair. Luke sat beside me reading, one foot gently pushing the rocker, lulling me to sleep. Half asleep, I opened my eyes. Outside the floor-to-ceiling window, 6 people knelt neatly in the courtyard. I stretched and finally emerged from the blanket, looking at Luke. Let's go visit the cemetery. I want to see that feng shui blessed grave of mine. And maybe pay respects to your parents. Get familiar with the place. This would be my final chemo session. Its results would decide whether I was waiting to die or had a chance to live. That grave led me to you. It must really be magical. I want to thank it. Ask it to shift some of my next life's luck into this one. Forget blessing my next life with happiness. Just help me survive this one. Luke's hand paused mid-turn of a page. He pressed his lips together, eyes lowered. A full minute passed before he finally nodded, his voice hoarse. All right. He wrapped a soft scarf around my neck and put the bunny ear hat we bought at Disney on my head, bundling me up tight and fuzzy, leaving only my eyes exposed. Luke couldn't resist tapping my forehead with his finger. Like a little puffball, I plopped onto the couch and panted for breath before managing a laugh. You're bullying a sick person. Is that polite, mister? You're like a kid. I couldn't help it. Luke pulled out a lollipop from his pocket. After unwrapping it, he gently tugged down my scarf and popped the candy into my mouth, just enough to cover the taste of blood. Then he pulled a permanent marker from under the coffee table. Kneeling in front of me, he slowly opened my palm and began writing on it, stroke by stroke. I licked the candy, puzzled, smiling at him. What are you doing? Writing your phone number? Luke smiled too, but his eyes were red. Just marking you, so if I lose you, I can find you again. He put the marker away. A single L rested in the center of my palm. I curled my hand into a fist without a word. Just as I was about to loosen it, a tear slipped through my fingers. Luke trembled as he gathered my hand in both of his, lowered his forehead, and knelt there, face buried, sobbing uncontrollably. For the first time since we met, I saw his sadness. Jennifer, don't leave me, please. I knelt in front of Luke's parents' grave and bowed. Then I looked toward Luke, who was standing far away because I'd told him to. I whispered with a playful smile, Sorry, Mom and Dad. I don't look so good right now. But believe me, I used to be really pretty, with hair and everything. So please, even though we've never met, bless me, okay? If I survive this life, I'll become your daughter-in-law. And if I don't, I paused to think, caught my breath for a few seconds, and finally smiled weakly. Whether I'm your daughter or your daughter-in-law, I'll be part of your family. As I spoke, I opened my hand to show them the L inside, pointing to the empty plot beside theirs. After I die, I'll share a grave with Luke. We'll definitely find each other in the next life. And if not, this mark will help Luke will find me again. The cemetery was quiet, the snow falling silently. I lifted my gaze, looking past rows of tombstones toward a blurry group of figures, Delaney family. I had called them here. I wanted them to see me find new parents, a new family, and to crush any last hope they had of clinging to me. This life or the next, we would never be family again. Jennifer, I think I never told you something. Luke carried me steadily, walking slowly down the cemetery path. I weakly wrapped my arms around his neck. What? My hearing's pretty good. And? My eyelids were heavy. I was getting sleepy. I heard you say you'd be my wife. You said it yourself. No backing out now, got it. My hand slipped lifelessly downward. Luke's steps halted sharply. His eyes turned blood red. But a second later, he smiled again and kept walking, tone light as ever, though his voice shook badly. Doesn't matter. I marked you. Even if you reincarnate as a dog, I'll find you. You hear me, Jennifer? You little liar. Stupid liar. Jennifer! Snowflakes landed on my face, cooling even my tears. And in the howling wind, a faint whisper seemed to echo by his ear. You're the one turning into a dog.